The European Commission.
The group Football Supporters Europe says it has joined with consumer group Euro Consumers to allege that soccer's world governing body has abused its position to impose excessive prices. The cheapest tickets for the final are $4,185, but all prices are subject to change as FIFA is employing dynamic pricing for the first time. That means prices can go up or down at any moment, even while fans are waiting in the online queue. Bob Agnew reporting.
It is one of the longtime rites of spring in the U.S. The Major League Baseball season opens today. There is a single nighttime game. The New York Yankees will visit the San Francisco Giants. Tomorrow, it's the official start of the regular season. Brings a full slate of games, 14 in all. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It's time for the Morning Rundown, which is brought to you every weekday at this time by our friends at the Glock Store. The Glock Store located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here is the morning rundown for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Number one group in Iran apparently rejects peace talks, but the internal leadership may be split. Number two, a ballistic missile production facility in Tehran has been blown up. Number three, Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the GOP may pass the SAVE Act through reconciliation. Just need 51 votes for that. We'll see. Number four, a very weird story from Brentwood, Tennessee. Here on Sunday, Alan Ritchson, he's the TV star, who's been in the Netflix series Reacher, apparently beat up his neighbor. And Brentwood police say it was self-defense. We've got one of the videos on that. It looks like it may well have been self-defense, asterisk. It's a weird deal. These are, it's a neighborhood in Brentwood filled with these gigantic McMansions. You know what I'm talking about. These are these 6,000 square foot houses that were built, the past decade or so, where the nouveau rich live. All right. So we'll see. We'll talk in hour two with former Assistant District Attorney General in Shelby County and Williamson County, Judson Phillips, about that. Number five, Andy Ogles, Congressman from Middle Tennessee, calls for a Memphis Safe Task Force here in Nashville. Number six, more Kilmar Abrego Garcia twists and turns. Yeah, he's the illegal alien from El Salvador, the Maryland man, who the lefties have spent now well over $20 million on legal fees to keep him in the country. There's a weird twist and turn on that one. Again, Tom Pappert, our lead political reporter, will report on that at the bottom of the hour. Number seven, an update on our friend Jeff Webb's pickleball death. Number eight, Sean Farage will be with us in hour three. He, of course, is the very best Donald Trump impersonator in the world. Number nine, at the Supreme Court yesterday, it looks like the Trump administration is going to have a victory in turning away asylum seekers at the border. And number 10, opening day in Major League Baseball. Well, it's opening night, one game tonight, the Yankees and the Giants, and then a full array tomorrow, 14 games. So there you go. There is a morning rundown brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. It's time now to talk about my friend Lenny McGill. He's the CEO and the founder of the Glock Store. Visiting the Glock Store is a treat any day of the year, but during their annual Nashville Open House, it is an event to remember. I've been lucky enough to have attended every one of the Nashville Open Houses of the Glock Store, and they are a blast. I think this is the sixth consecutive year. They always have great speakers, including congressmen and senators and yours truly. And the all-day long free, open to the public raffle is likely the best in the nation. Last year, they gave away over $25,000 worth of great gun gear, including 3 Glocks, one of which was a GS custom worth over $2,000. This year it's on Saturday, May 30th, Memorial Day weekend. I urge all my Nashville listeners to save the date. And for my listeners that aren't in Nashville, well, the Glock Store Open House, they're so famous for people driving in from all over the country just for the open house. I go over there and you look at the parking just goes all the way around the block. You look at the license plates, they're from, probably 20, 30 states. That's the Glock Store's 6th annual Nashville Open House, Saturday, May 30th. I'll be there. You should be there too. So there you go. That's the Glock Store. All right, let's go to, I love Justice Alito, Samuel Alito, who has been just taking it to the lefties on the Supreme Court. We're talking about, Elena Kagan, Sonia Sotomayor, and Ketanji Jackson Brown. Let's play this clip. It looks like it'll be a 6-3 victory for Trump, saying, if you seek asylum and you come to the border and ask for asylum, we can turn you away, which is the policy that was implemented during Trump 1.0. And Biden, of course, got rid of it. Clip 5, Justice Alito.
I believe that both you and Justice Sotomayor and Justice Jackson on several occasions have used the phrase arriving at. I think you said you arrived at your house, but that's not the term that is in the statute. Do you think there is no difference between arriving at a location and arriving in the location? Does a person arrive in the house when the person is not in the house and is knocking at the door, asking to be admitted to the house?
Yes, I think here the door is open. The officer is standing on the other side of the threshold.
Oh my God, this just makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. And let's go on with Laura, clip 20. She explains this a little bit on this asylum clip. Here's Laura Ingraham talking about it.
Trump isn't winning on the key issues. You're not paying attention. A cornerstone of his agenda, immigration enforcement, is being upheld as it works its way through the legal system. Supreme Court justices today seeming to side with the government that it should be able to turn people away at the border. In other words, before they even cross into the country, bye, not staying, not coming to apply for asylum. But that's the sticking point. So at the border, what it means to be in the United States, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals previously ruled that the government could not turn people away because the asylees were already in the country already.
I believe that both you and Justice Sotomayor and Justice Jackson.
Okay, so we got that. He's making the point. And she says, yeah, he's right. It's crazy. The Ninth Circuit, this is the left-wing circuit, right? It's gotten more conservative of late, but it's California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii. And they're trying to keep Trump from turning asylum seekers away. There's a way to do asylum, but it's not to sneak into the country and then ask for asylum. So we'll see how that one all plays out. We've got another clip here. This is Victor Davis Hanson talking with Laura Ingraham. She was in California, by the way, over the last night, talking about illegals. Clip 6.
Victor, first of all, I didn't get my welcome mat from you for being here in California. Okay, I didn't get a fruit basket, nothing from you.
I apologize.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you, Victor. Why have we allowed all these insane policies to go on for as long as we have? I mean, people saying you're in the country when you're at the border, not even crossing over the borders, is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, they want to destroy or dismantle immigration law. So everybody knew that if you would follow the Ninth Circuit's decision, then you wouldn't have any immigration law because people would just be able to enter anytime, anywhere, any place illegally. And they'd say, well, you're already in the United States, therefore you're a refugee. But the bigger picture, I think, is that the Democrats know that the agenda they have does not warrant 51% support. So they either have to water down the balloting laws, and they have done that with no voter ID, mail-in balloting, 10 days, counting the ballots 10 days later, or abject cheating, or bring in a new constituency, and they've done all three. So illegal immigration, I think we should realize, is absolutely integral to the present Democratic Party's viability, because they're so radical on these 37% issues, and they're on the 30 side. They have no choice but to.
And that explains it. When you say the Democrats are crazy in terms of rejecting traditional American law and values, they're not crazy in this regard. They want to bring in illegal aliens and basically override 250 years of American history. Hey, when we come back, we'll have more. We've got a crazy district attorney in Philadelphia who wants to arrest ICE. Really? Back with more after this.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-690-6464. That's 800-690-6464. Again, that's 800-690-6464.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. All right, back to the theme of the Democrats crazy and not crazy. Crazy in the sense that they are doing everything they possibly can to restore the rule of law. Not crazy because destroying the rule of law and bringing in illegal immigrants is the only way, and cheating in elections is the only way they can maintain power. Let's take an example of the crazy Democrats. Here we have Larry Krasner, the district attorney in Philadelphia, and he is a George Soros-funded district attorney. He made a big deal about going to the airport in Philadelphia and threatening to arrest ICE agents. And why did he do this? And why did he make this threat? Well, let's play the clip right now and see.
This is how it works. You commit crimes within the jurisdiction that is the city and county of Philadelphia, I prosecute you. That is how it works. No, I don't take a phone call from the president saying let him go. No, the president cannot pardon you. I'll say it again. The president cannot pardon you. And yes, I will put you in handcuffs, and I will put you in a courtroom, and if necessary, I will put you in a jail cell. If you decide to make the terrazzo floor of this airport anything like what you did in the streets of Minneapolis, which involved the criminal homicide of unarmed, innocent people. We are not having that here. But let me go back to all ICE agents who are going to keep their oath, who are going to follow the law and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Thank you for keeping your oath. To any agent who might think about doing it an illegal way, I'll be seeing you in court, and you're not going to like it.
Okay, so what kind of dishonest weasel is this guy? First, he made any number of statements there. ICE has every right to be in an airport. They're part of the Department of Homeland Security, and if they're assigned to help out with the airport, they can. He also made a false statement there where he stated that the deaths of the two protesters in Minnesota were, quote, criminal homicide. They were not. They have not been, none of the agents involved have been charged. There's an investigation on it, but no charges have been filed. The other thing about this, and he knows that he's not a stupid guy. He's a dishonest guy. He's a crooked guy. He hates America. But, police officers have sovereign immunity during the conduct of their jobs. And, unless you get stuck in a crooked deal like Derek Chauvin was. By the way, Derek Chauvin was convicted by a jury of, quote, murdering George Floyd, but he did not get a fair trial. Our friend T.J. Harker has a book coming out in October. I was hoping it would be out in March. It's coming out in October, American Scapegoat, which talks about how this guy was wrongly convicted. You've got, in essence, corrupt district attorneys and the corrupt judicial system in most blue cities. And Philadelphia is one example. The guy, he walks in there, and it's part of the PR campaign against ICE, right? Oh, yeah. Look, these two situations in Minnesota, the first one, it seemed pretty much the case that the woman who was shot and killed did try to aim her vehicle and basically take out the ICE agent who shot at her. The other situation with the guy who had been aggressively going after ICE agents, a little more muddled, but it hasn't been fully adjudicated. Now, what's this all about? It's again all about Democrats wanting to keep illegal aliens here in the United States and use them to destroy our constitutional republic. Brandon Gill, the congressman from Texas who's been out there, he's the one with the who looks like Clark Kent with the Superman curl, that guy. He had a few words to say about this. Let's play clip 10.
It's in their favor and against Republicans. So much of Democrat policy is, in fact, based on flooding American communities with hostile foreigners, putting their interests above the interests of the American people, and weaponizing them politically for electoral gain. It's absolutely grotesque, and yet we deal with it every single day. What we are not going to do as Republicans is we're not going to allow Democrats to defund ICE. We're going to make sure that our ICE agents and immigration enforcement is funded properly the way it should be so that we can continue deporting illegal aliens no matter what Democrats think about it. There's a few more steps that we have in front of us to get a deal done. We're going to get it done whether Democrats like it or not, and we're going to keep fighting because we're not going to allow Democrats to hold this country hostage for the sake of their own perverse political ambition. So with that said, thank you all for being here.
He's a pretty articulate guy, isn't he? Now, it's interesting. What the Democrats have done is they have demonized ICE. And I think the two deaths in Minnesota has given them some ammunition. By the way, as an aside on this, the Border Patrol guys went into Minnesota with ICE. And this Greg Bovino, who was a commander in Border Patrol, was involved in, he would go to Chicago, went to Minnesota for a bit. And he has resigned and retired. And what's interesting about this, you can get a little insight into it. Apparently, Bovino was highly critical of Tom Homan. For the way he handles things, which seems to me to be reflective in a poor way on Greg Bovino. Because if you looked at handling ICE, the situation in Minnesota got out of control, and Homan went in and basically calmed it down. So I think it's sort of a bad look by Bovino to do that. Now, Andy Ogles has a few words to say. Not surprisingly, about deportation. Here we go. Clip 1.
I have a distinct role in protecting this nation from outside and, quite frankly, attacks from within. And so we have to have this conversation because we see what's happening in Europe. Again, we have real-time data, and, Europe is probably 10 years ahead of us as far as the migrant curve. And so we have opportunity. We have time to fix this and properly vet the people that are coming into this country. But look, if you lied on your naturalization form, you should be denaturalized, and you should be deported. If you came across any of our ports or our borders, et cetera, illegally, you should be deported. This is our country. We get to decide who comes in. Are we even allowed to say that
anymore? This is our country? I don't know that we are. But look, it's common sense. I think the vast majority of Americans obviously agree with you on this.
Okay. We did this interview with Andy Ogles on immigration. It's Andy's a good friend. Been for a long time. It's a lot more nuanced than he says. Yeah, I think it's true. If you come here and you lied on your naturalization application and became a citizen, you should be denaturalized. That's a long investigation. There's a process to do that. He's actually, there's a process actually if you come in illegally to the United States, and if you immediately apply for asylum, as Estefany Rodriguez Flores did in 2021, there's a process there. And you can avoid deportation immediately. But I think he makes a very good point on this. All right, one last thing. Who's blaming who? Pritzker, J.D. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, is blaming this 18-year-old college student for her own death at the hands of an illegal immigrant and blaming Donald Trump. Let's play this clip.
There have been real failures. Those failures, of course, extend beyond the borders of Illinois. That's their national failures, a failure to have comprehensive immigration reform, a failure of the president to follow his own edict to go after the worst of the worst.
Yeah, he was talking about that 18-year-old girl who was murdered by an illegal Venezuelan immigrant. Apparently she interrupted him while he was contemplating his gun, and he decided that was a threat, and he killed her, right? Crazy. Yeah, now, why was he allowed to be in Chicago? Well, because Chicago and Illinois are sanctuary states. Wrong move, J.D. Pritzker. Hey, when we come back, Tom Papert joins us. Another illegal alien story. This, the ongoing saga of Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation. Right now, union label legislators in Richmond are pushing to impose union monopoly bargaining on all Virginia state and local government workers. Unbelievable. That will cost taxpayers billions while reducing state and local government's flexibility to deliver services to constituents efficiently. In fact, years ago, the Heritage Foundation, they found that government monopoly bargaining in a state cost a family of four $3,000 in increased taxes per year. Let that sink in. $3,000 a year. Tell your legislators and Governor Spanberger in Virginia to oppose union monopoly bargaining over state and local government workers. Protect yourself, protect your paycheck, protect your money. Sign the petition. Go to VirginiaRightToWork.com. That's VirginiaRightToWork.com. 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 This message paid for by the National Right to Work Committee.
End the madness.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at CreeksidePetHotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are joined on our Zoom newsmaker line right now by the Dow Prize Award winner for the best local journalism in the country, an award that he won along with yours truly and our executive editor at the Tennessee Star, Christina Botteri, our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network, the one, the only, Tom Pappert. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael.
You know, now we can say with great authority, the one, the only Tom Pappert. Now that you are a Dow Prize Award winner as the best local journalist in the country, before we get into this ongoing saga of illegal alien Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia, now we're March of 2026. This guy has been front and center in the American public discussion for well over a year now, after I think he was deported to El Salvador right around about a year ago, I think it was. And he came to, his case came to the public notice, I think, early in March of 2025. But I want to put this in context. Let me ask you this very brief question. We've estimated, Tom, that between for at least 4 high-powered, big law legal firms in this year, since he's been involved in immigration proceedings and criminal proceedings that have been brought against him, we estimated that the legal fees spent to keep the illegal alien Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the alleged human smuggler, here in the United States, I think we've estimated that they now exceed $20 million. Do you have any update on that? Are we in the ballpark, or is it going north of $20 million now?
Well, Michael, we've certainly reached somewhat of a lull over the past few months, ever since December, when the Obama-appointed judge Paula Zinnes ordered ICE to free Abrego Garcia, then determined that they could never detain him again and put it into an injunction. We've sort of seen less filings, but I think that's all about to change. So I would say we've probably been a little bit static around that $20 million estimate, but right now, as the Trump administration is really pulling off some legal judo with its filings, I expect that number to skyrocket yet again.
So let's talk about why the Democrats, why the billionaires are, in essence, funding this $20 million fee, no cost to Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This is of great strategic importance to Democrats. Why? Because they want to make it as difficult as possible to deport the 15 million, 20 million illegal aliens in America, because it is the illegal aliens, when they vote for Democrats, that give the Democrats their political power, and the fraud that goes through illegal aliens is part of the Democrat business model. Do I overstate the case, Tom?
Not at all, but I'd add another element to this, Michael, and that is that it is a phenomenal distraction, and I almost feel like we are perpetuating it by covering it, but the people also deserve to have the truth of what's going on with this case. But it's created this false perception among some Republicans, conservatives, maybe folks who don't pay as much attention as you and I, that there's not that many people being deported. In reality, in Trump's first year in office, 3 million people left the country. Some of those were self-deportations, but about 750,000 were physical removals. That's where the people go through the same exact legal process as Abrego Garcia, only they were able to get them out a little bit quicker. And at any given time, there's between, I think, 300 and 600,000 illegal aliens in custody, essentially going through this process in this country. So they've spent millions, perhaps tens of millions, on Abrego Garcia to make him the poster child for all illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, 3 million of them have either voluntarily or physically been deported.
All right, now let's catch up on the latest twists and turns. It's hard to follow the bouncing ball here. let me just lay out the headline of your story, published yesterday. Department of Justice filing derailed agreed schedule for sanctions proceedings in Abrego Garcia case, according to emails. Okay, tell me what's going on here.
Well, Michael, late last week, in fact, on Friday evening, the Trump administration asked this Obama-appointed judge to dissolve that injunction I mentioned earlier. So ICE can rearrest Abrego Garcia and deport him to Liberia. They say they could actually get him on a chartered jet to Liberia within 5 days of her dissolving this order. But this is in the second Abrego Garcia lawsuit against the Trump administration. That's the habeas corpus petition. The original one was arguing that he was deported illegally. And as part of that, Judge Paula Zinnes, this Obama judge, said that the Trump administration would likely have to pay some sanctions or suffer some sanctions over their legal representation of the Department of Homeland Security during that lawsuit. And so now, according to the judge, it all seemed to be over. Abrego Garcia is free in Maryland. It's time to wrap up that first court case. She requested the prosecutors, or rather government attorneys, and Abrego Garcia's immigration attorneys get together, make a proposed schedule. They had that proposed schedule finalized by 5 p.m. on Friday. At the same exact time, the Department of Justice was filing its motion to dissolve the injunction, throwing the entire thing into disarray. And Michael, what I think the real headline here is that the Abrego Garcia legal defense team did not see this coming. And AG Pam Bondi may get some heartburn from the conservative media, but on this case, I think that they are effectively outmaneuvering not only the Abrego Garcia defense team, but also this very sympathetic Obama-appointed judge.
Okay, so if they get what they asked for, what happens next?
Well, essentially, this first case is now back to being on standby. And if Abrego Garcia is removed from the United States, it seems to me that they're going to have a hard time establishing what sanctions are going to be provided. But more importantly, we're still in the time period where Zinnes is running out the clock. This Obama-appointed judge has until April 18th. The DOJ set the deadline. She has until that date to rule on their request to dissolve her motion. If she does not, you're going to see, I predict, a rapid appeal to the Fourth Circuit. They're going to have a hard time following the legal framework that this judge used. Abrego Garcia's time in the court system, at least on this immigration case, I think is rapidly approaching its conclusion.
So the Department of Justice thinks that this injunction that she put forward, it does not have the kind of legal standing that will be affirmed by the circuit court, but that the circuit court will overrule her, correct?
Well, yes, and there's good reason to believe this, actually. They pointed out some inconsistencies. What Zinnes did on February 17th, when she formalized her previous temporary stay into a permanent injunction, she just copied and pasted the December 11th ruling into another document. Now, the problem is things had changed substantially in that period. For example, she said that Abrego Garcia did not have a final valid deportation order because it was missing some language back in 2019. So the immigration judge, one of the top judges in the nation in the immigration courts, amended that 2019 order to make it valid. Zinnes totally ignored that this even happened. This is one of several issues that they raised. I think the Fourth Circuit is going to look at it and say, well, the story changed, Judge Zinnes, and you didn't pay attention to it.
Does Judge Zinnes, in looking at this, does she think her ruling on that injunction to keep him out of jail will be overruled?
It's hard to say, Michael, but it seems to me this judge seemed to think that she had finally pulled the wool over the Trump administration's eyes. And again, I maintain this judge is totally partisan. She views Abrego Garcia as a client more than a person who is in her court to have a justice administered. And so it seems to me that there was a significant delay before that December 11th order that she's since finalized. And February came out, I think it was like 60 days we were waiting to see what the judge was going to do. I think she expected this to be ironclad. She did not expect the immigration courts to rapidly amend the 2019 final deportation order. She did not expect Todd Lyons at ICE to immediately say, no, you're not going to Costa Rica. You're going where we tell you you're going to go. And she did not expect the Trump administration to file such a powerful motion and give the judge an April 17th deadline. I think at this point, we're starting to see the teeth come out at the Department of Justice.
Will she cave, or will she just defy that and allow the Department of Justice to appeal?
Well, Michael, if we've seen any pattern emerge over the Trump administration, it's that these district court judges, they don't seem to have much shame. So if this goes to the Fourth Circuit and she's overturned, I don't think she would bat an eyelash.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she knows she'll be overturned. I don't think she cares. I think she won't comply with the Department of Justice. It'll go right up to the Fourth Circuit. How long will it take them to overrule her?
Now, there is some question. The Fourth Circuit has not been the most rapid circuit when it comes to these immigration cases under Trump, and they actually haven't been the best circuit for the administration to bring these cases. But for something like this, I've looked into it, and I would estimate that after Zinnes makes her decision, it'll be a matter of months before we get a ruling, and I just don't see.
And then they will then they'll go up to the Supreme Court, right? And the Supreme Court may or may not take it. That's probably 50-50 right now. But meanwhile, all of the resolution for Kilmar Brego Garcia will be delayed by 3 to 6 months, which is really what they want to accomplish here. It seems to me, Tom Pappert. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I have zero doubt in my mind at this point that this has been a political play almost since the beginning to delay and characterize the entire Trump agenda around the Kilmar Brego Garcia
Meanwhile,
case. And again, ignore the 3 million deportations.
On the human smuggling case in Middle Tennessee, how many days do we have until we get the ruling on whether, from the judge, Crenshaw, whether it's vindictive prosecution? With what, 30 days?
We're still waiting on the transcript for that 30-day countdown to start.
All right. John Pappert, when we come back, we have another story, the improbable pickleball death of our friend Jeff Webb. Where do we stand on that investigation? Tom will have that when we get back.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not. So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. Go to HealthyCell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's HealthyCell.com. HealthyCell.com.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Our guest on our Zoom Newsmaker line, the one, the only Tom Pappert. Did I mention he won the Dow Prize for Best Local Journalism in the country? Yes, I did. And it's true. Okay, Tom. So we're looking at this investigation. We are doing an investigative series, you and I, on the improbable pickleball death of my friend, Jeff Webb, who died at the age of 76 on Thursday, March 19th, after a pickleball accident, the reports say, where he hit his head, the reports say, on somewhere about March 3rd, 4th, or 5th of this year. Nobody's saying nothing about it, Tom, but you've been asking questions. Can you give me an update?
Well, Michael, unfortunately, there's been little additional details to surface, but we do have a statement via NBC News, strangely enough, from a family spokesperson, Stephen Francie. He's from the PR firm Rubenstein, which actually represents Varsity Spirit and was used by Jeff Webb personally. But he only told the news outlet yesterday, quote, "At this time, the family is not discussing the specifics of his passing. I can confirm Jeff passed away this past Thursday and was laid to rest and a private burial ceremony for family on Sunday," which is new. We did not previously know that there had already been a funeral service for Jeff Webb. But it seems as though, for whatever the reason may be, the family is keeping the details which led to the unfortunate passing very close to the chest.
Yeah, I know those Rubenstein guys. They're out of New York City. And because we dealt with them a little bit. And they were very New York City. They were not very Tennessee. And so that sounds like the kind of thing they would say. I was unimpressed with that PR agency, as you might imagine. We're really, right now, I think we're in a situation where the details still don't make any sense to me. And by the way, so he passes away on Thursday. He's laid to rest on Sunday. Seems kind of quick to me. Seems that way.
You could argue perhaps if the condition was deteriorating, he was on life support, perhaps the decision to remove him from life support gave the family some time to plan. But it does seem very quickly. And again, it just seems as though this PR company is inviting the nasty speculation of internet grifters and rumor mongers the longer they go without sharing just a small amount of details.
Also,
where the accident happened, where he was transported, etc.
Nobody's talking about it right now, and it's going to take a while for us to find out the real truth of this matter. It still doesn't make any sense to me. But nobody involved, the Pickleball Association, which you'd think would want to comment about the claim that somebody died from a head injury playing pickleball. You'd think they'd want to comment on it, but they're not saying anything, are they?
No, we've yet to hear from the Pickleball Association. We've also yet to hear, very strangely, in my opinion, from the Memphis Fire Department, who I'm sure, if this happened within the Memphis city limits, was there to respond. And I'm sure that they responded very professionally and effectively. It seems very odd that they would not confirm this.
Yeah, the other part about this, which I do not like at all, and I was watching Greg Gutfeld last night, and the pickleball story was a punchline. Somebody died playing pickleball. That was a punchline to a joke. Jeff Webb's life was a dramatic example of success in the American dream. And the manner, the reported manner of his death, the pickleball, should not define his legacy. Kind of more than a little bit irritates me, which is one of the reasons why we're going to continue our investigation. But the number of areas where we can get public information is very limited right now. And I think, have we heard from the medical examiner, the district attorney down there? Any of those?
We've not, Michael. The only law enforcement response we've had was from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and to their credit, they confirmed that they have not been requested to investigate, which that request would come from the district attorney office in Shelby County or from local law enforcement. So we can safely say that if any of those groups are investigating, they have not requested help from state authorities.
He died on Thursday. We don't know if there was an autopsy. We don't know if there's a medical examiner's death report. We don't know how he was laid to rest. We don't know if he was cremated. All of these, and he was dies Thursday, buried Sunday. Seems awfully fast to me. And look, I'm not saying there's anything nefarious going on, but the full story is not out there. That really irritates me, Tom. Your thoughts?
Well, I think what you were saying a moment ago about the legacy of Jeff Webb and the unfortunate, disgusting idea of it being reduced to a punchline about pickleball, that's really what this comes down to. The more information that comes out, the more people will focus on the life and legacy instead of a supposed mystery at the very, very end. And by the way, Jeff Webb seemed very interested in preserving his legacy. There was a documentary that is reportedly was in production prior to his death that was going to chart the rise of this American success story. And I agree with you completely. It's a tragedy, and it's just even worse to think that people will remember a pickleball incident instead of making competitive cheerleading an international sport, helping springboard Charlie Kirk's career, TPUSA, the post-millennial, the list goes on.
Tom Pappert, we're going to stay on this. And thank you so much for your report on it.
Always happy to be here, Michael.
We got a Hollywood story. Alan Ritchson, what, did he beat up a neighbor? Judson Phillips will talk about that in our next hour.
Ponder this. We intake oxygen every time we breathe, and breathing is how we stay alive. When God first created man, he breathed life into him. Our Lord also breathed spiritual life into his apostles and filled them with the Holy Spirit at the first Pentecost. Oxygen is a source of life both physically and spiritually. It's the same with fire. Oxygen is needed in order to keep a fire burning, which begs the question, are you on fire for the Lord, or has your spiritual oxygen been extinguished? To answer this, we must go to the source. The source of our spiritual oxygen is the Lord himself. Without him, there is no life within us. Those are his words, not mine. We are called to tap into this life source by baptism, daily prayer, and receiving the sacraments, especially Holy Communion if you are a Catholic, in the state of grace. If we tap into this life source every day, our lives will be filled with the love of the Lord, our spiritual oxygen. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Do you think workers in Virginia should be forced to pay union dues and fees just to get or keep a job? For 80% of Virginians, the answer is no. That's why Virginia's right-to-work law is so popular. Unfortunately, special interest lobbyists in Richmond are seeking to repeal right-to-work in Virginia. With the General Assembly back, it is vital to tell your legislators and Governor Abigail Spanberger to oppose forced unionism and protect right-to-work in Virginia. Sign your petition today at virginiarighttowork.com. That's virginiarighttowork.com. The National Right to Work Committee paid for this ad.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, 100.5, 107.7, 92.7 FM, AM 820, and WJFB, Portsmouth, AM 1650.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. A U.S.-authored peace proposal has been forwarded to Iran.
The details of this plan remain in question, but officials have told the Associated Press that Pakistan, which has been one of the countries trying to get a diplomatic route to the end of the conflict, has transmitted it to Tehran. Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey have been key in trying to negotiate a settlement to the war.
Correspondent John Gambrell. Iran now says it will allow non-hostile ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, subject to its approval. The Homeland Security funding impasse has yet to be resolved. It's complicating air travel and making life very difficult for thousands of federal workers.
A dispute in Congress over funding the Department of Homeland Security has held up the paychecks of TSA officers for close to 6 weeks now. And some officers, like Taylor Desert in Indiana, say they've had to rely on food banks.
I never thought I would be in a position to where working for the federal government, I would need to go to a food bank.
Sarah Estelle is Chief Outreach Officer at Gleaners Food Bank of Indiana.
In Indianapolis Airport, we have about 300 TSA workers who have been working without pay for some time with no end in sight at this point. So Gleaners is doing special distributions for these workers.
I'm Donna Water.
A New Mexico jury is ordering Facebook and Instagram's parent Meta to pay $375 million after finding that its platforms harm children's mental health. Meta says it will appeal the verdict. CPAC, the annual Conservative Political Action Conference, kicking off today in the Dallas suburb of Grapevine. Stocks are sharply higher on Wall Street as oil prices fall. The Dow is up 397 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index ahead 264. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says she's ready for a third term, even though her Social Democrats won fewer votes in this week's election than at any time in more than 100 years.
Neither side has required 90 seats to have a majority in Parliament, so it's not quite clear what form the next coalition government will take. There's a small party in the centre called the Moderates, and they have 14 seats. They are led by Lars Løkke Rasmussen. He's a former Prime Minister himself. He is now positioned with a lot of power to steer the course of what this next government might look like.
The BBC's Adrian Murray. British police have arrested 2 men over an arson attack that destroyed 4 ambulances from a Jewish charity. They're treating the fire as an anti-Semitic hate crime. News and analysis at townhall.com. From the minors to the majors, a long-awaited umpiring change is finally set to debut when Big League Baseball's season gets going this week.
Robot umpires are coming to the big leagues in 2026. The automated ball strike system will be introduced in the form of a challenge system in which the human umpire makes each call, which can be appealed to the computer. Robot umpires have been tested in the minor leagues since 2019, with recent testing done at AAA, MLB spring training, and at this summer's All-Star game in Atlanta. Success rates have hovered around 50% in the minors. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
And the Major League Baseball season opens today on a limited basis. There is a single nighttime game. The New York Yankees will visit the San Francisco Giants. Tomorrow, the official start of the regular season. It brings a full slate of games, 14 in all. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. We are joined in studio by all-star panelist, good friend for many years, many years.
We're not going to count how many.
The one, the only, Judson Phillips. Good morning, Judson.
Hey, good morning, Michael. How are you doing today?
Well, you know, Judson, I want to reintroduce you to our audience. Of course, you are a graduate of the University of Memphis, right? And Memphis Law School. Mm-hmm. You worked for 20 years? How long as an assistant district attorney? 10. Seemed like 20.
Yeah.
In Shelby County.
I got time off for good behavior.
And then also moved up here to Middle Tennessee, where you were assistant district attorney for a couple of years.
A couple of years here.
Practiced law privately here for a while. We first met back in 2009 at the start of the Tea Party movement. You were an early leader of the Tea Party movement. You founded a group called Tea Party Nation. Famously, and I mean famously, in early 2010, right? Did I tell that right?
February 2010.
You put together a large Tea Party rally at here. It was out at the Gaylord, wasn't it?
It was out at the Gaylord, and we got we invited Sarah Palin to be the speaker. And this was at the time she had left the governor's office in Alaska 4 or 5 months earlier.
Yeah,
and this was her first public appearance.
Yeah,
and it was crazy because we didn't have the room for as many people as we wanted because we sold out, but we had media from around the world there covering it.
Well, it was the kind of thing also where she was still it was interesting because she was I was there in Minneapolis in 2008 when she delivered her acceptance speech to be the nominee, the vice president's nominee for John McCain. She gave a great speech. And I was also I was a delegate to the Republican National Convention. And I was staying at the same hotel as the Alaska delegation. And I remember, by the way, the chairman of the Republican Party of Tennessee at the time was Robin Smith.
Oh, yes.
And she's the same Robin Smith who served in the state, ran for Congress, then served in the state legislature, and then pled guilty to some corruption charges here in the state, and then basically got her sentence commuted by the Department of Justice after the people she testified against, Glenn Cassidy, the Speaker, and Cade Cawthon, were convicted, but then pardoned by the president. Long story. But so I wrote a little book about her and did some interviews. Never got to interview her. Got to interview her parents. And so you, in a bold move, after she resigned as the governor of Alaska, you got her to be the speaker at this event.
We did. We reached out, got her, and again, it was she was her political career was pretty hot back then. Excuse me, and so there was a lot of demand for her, and she was coming out of the shadow of both John McCain, because obviously as a VP nominee, you're under the shadow of the presidential nominee, but also she was still the governor of Alaska. And when you're governor, there's certain things you can do, certain things you can say, certain things you can't say, certain things you can't do. And so this was her first opportunity to, for lack of a better way of saying it, spread her wings fully independently in the political spectrum. And years later, they're still talking about it. And it was, I think it was one of the high water marks for the Tea Party movement.
It was. Her speech was well received. And what happened is, so the event was under huge attack from the left.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable, the attacks from the left. And to the rescue, if you will, from a PR perspective, came Andrew Breitbart and Steve Bannon.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they came, and Andrew Breitbart in particular did a couple things that really helped save the convention, because it was dicey for a while. It could have gone either way. And we had our local rag, the Tennessean, decided they wanted...
The Tennessean, what's that?
Yeah. It's it used to be a newspaper.
It used to be a newspaper.
But they decided they wanted to attack us.
Yeah.
And so what they did, we had a disagreement with one of the sponsors. That was
I remember all that craziness.
Yeah, and just for those not familiar with it, if you're doing a convention like this and you have sponsors coming in, sponsors get certain benefits that come with their sponsorship. Well, this particular group wanted much more, and we said, look, no, this is what everybody else is getting. You're getting the same deal.
They got upset.
They got upset and walked away. So the Tennesseans started calling all of our sponsors up, because we had them up on a website.
Trying to get them to stop
sponsoring. They said, oh, this group's withdrawn from their sponsorship. Are you withdrawing? Are you withdrawing? And, to their credit, everybody else said no. But it was clearly, it wasn't an attempt for them to make news. It was, it wasn't an attempt for them to cover news. It was an attempt for them to make news. I found out, if you remember the journo list from that time.
Oh, yeah.
There was some concentrated effort by some, quote, journalists on that list to try and help take the convention down. They were unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm.
And, at the end of the day, it turned out to be a pretty pretty spectacular event.
It was, and Andrew Breitbart. Tell us a little bit about the late, great Andrew Breitbart and how he helped you.
Well, for one thing, when he came in, we had the idea for the convention. I didn't realize how big it would be, and some other people didn't realize how big it would be, at least some of us who were putting it together. And in comes Andrew Breitbart, and he says, this thing is going to be huge. You need to do, among other things, open this up to the media, because we really weren't going to do it. We were like have a pool or something in there, but we really weren't going to do that. And he opened us up. He opened up. He just opened it up to the media, and we did. And that's one of the reasons it became such a huge hit.
International media.
Yeah, international media. Because, during that crazy time, I was interviewed not only by the American media, various European media, Japanese media. I think I was stopped by a reporter from, was it Mongolia? I can't remember. Someplace. After a while, it did turn into a little bit of a blur, or maybe a lot of a blur. But he really stepped in and provided some good behind the scenes advice. And the great thing about him was, and Steve Bannon too, they could have walked in, and particularly Andrew, his status, he could have just overwhelmed it.
His status at that time was huge.
Yeah, he could have just overwhelmed the convention. He could have become the face of the convention.
He was there to support you.
Yeah, he came in there, offered support behind the scenes, and asked for nothing in return. Absolutely nothing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, he even paid his own way, paid for his own hotel rooms, the whole nine yards.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's just, it tells me what kind of a guy he was. And then, I saw him at CPAC in early 2012.
And he was spectacular.
Yeah, and I was going to go talk to him, and he was surrounded by a bunch of people. I said, yeah, I'll try to catch him some other time.
There was no other time.
There was no other time.
He died a couple months later.
Yeah, it was like 6 weeks later.
Natural causes, everybody, but still, it was
and
really...
Yeah, and because I had the privilege of meeting a number of people in his circle, we heard this. You see the crazy conspiracy stuff. Oh, they murdered Andrew Breitbart. No, the dude had a bad heart. About a year and a half earlier, he'd had another really bad heart attack. And I'm sorry,
but still,
it's what happens. And we lost one of the most amazing talents our side has ever had.
Absolutely.
But it was natural causes.
Judson Phillips, when we come back, I'm going to go into your assistant district attorney life and talk about this crazy Alan Richson story here in Brentwood, Tennessee, where he beat up his neighbor and got away with it. Asterisk. Back after this.
Ponder this. Imagine for a moment that you are lying on your deathbed. This is a great exercise to do each day in preparation for your very last day on earth. Think about the tests you've ever taken, the job interviews you've had, and the many life celebrations you've been a part of. In all of these cases, preparation makes for successful outcomes. The same is true for dying. We must prepare every day for the day we are to die, in case today might be our last. Make sure you are right with the Lord first and foremost. If you are a Catholic, make sure you are in the state of grace by receiving the sacrament of confession often. Next, make sure you are right with your family, friends, and all those who are in your world. Apologize to those who have offended you and mend relationships that need healing. Make each day a preparation for your last day on earth, because it just may be. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
And they gave me a curveball question. Price of oil is $88 today. I said, it's a temporary thing, but I have something to inform you. And I'm going to say it very slowly. Under President Biden, the price of oil was $80, $90, $100 for 4 years. Under President Trump, maybe it's going to be $80 for 1 month.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Did I say it slowly enough so everybody understands?
I love that.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Okay, this is a weird crime story. Non-crime crime story, I suppose you could say. But it's a weird story. And we're going to call upon your expertise as a former assistant district attorney here in Tennessee. Have you followed this guy, Alan Richson? He's the guy that plays
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, plays Jack Reacher in the Netflix series. He's what, about 6'5", 6'3", and he's like, spends a lot of time in the weight room.
Yeah, he definitely does.
And he's a bit of a, I don't know what you would call him. I would call him a bit of a prima donna type. It seems to me. Okay. He hates Donald Trump. I know that. He's come out and he's made some false claims about Trump. Said some very bad things about him. He's also apparently self-described suffers from bipolar issues. Had claimed he'd been a model for a period of time, and he claimed he was sexually assaulted. Okay. Now, he lives, this is the weird part about it. He lives here in Middle Tennessee. In fact, not too far from our studios. He lives in Brentwood, Tennessee. Brentwood, of course, is the affluent suburb of Nashville. It's directly south of Nashville in Williamson County. You and I both reside in Williamson County. And if you kind of go on the map, typically it's due south of Nashville, and Davidson County is across the line into Brentwood.
And a little bit of Brentwood even extends up into Davidson County.
A little bit.
And for anybody who's not local, Nashville and Davidson County, we use them interchangeably because they have what we call a metropolitan form of government, which basically means the city limits of Nashville, even though there are some smaller cities, extend all the way to the county line of Davidson County.
Now, Brentwood is interesting as a community. It's different than Franklin. You go further south, Franklin is defined by the historic elements of the Battle of Franklin, a beautiful kind of classic downtown, a square where there's a statue to a Confederate soldier, and then right next to it, it's a statue of a black Union soldier. Mm-hmm. That's been up fairly recently. Brentwood had been, I don't know, very suburban, and it doesn't have the same kind of feel that a Franklin has.
No, Franklin feels like an old South town. Yeah. And that culture is still there. But if you go up to Brentwood is obviously a more modern suburb, mm-hmm. and it has more of the feel of people who've moved in here from other jurisdictions.
It does. And you've got the term, people have used this a lot, but if you drive around the neighborhood parts of Brentwood, I mean, it's a great little city, first. A lot of great stuff there. But if you drive around the neighborhood parts, there are what I call these huge McMansions. And we're talking about huge.
Several thousand square feet, 6-7 bedrooms, 23 bathrooms.
Recently
okay, maybe
built,
not that many.
But close. But recently built, probably worth, $3-4 million mm-hmm. each, with huge lawns. And so anyways, apparently, I didn't know this. I didn't even know he lived in Brentwood, Tennessee. So Alan Richson, Ritchson, lives in one of these McMansion neighborhoods of Brentwood. Mm-hmm. And he has a neighbor there. They didn't know each other. The neighbor there is a Brit who was wearing a Battleground Academy T-shirt. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah. They're both about the same size. The neighbor's about 6'3", but I wouldn't call him as fit as Alan Ritchson is. And the story is, and we're going to play the clip. The clip shows him basically Alan Ritchson beating up his neighbor. However, before we get to that, what happened before, apparently Alan and his 2 kids were riding motorbikes in this McMansion neighborhood of Brentwood. And his neighbor, this Ronnie Taylor character, who's a Brit originally, didn't like it for some reason. Said it was, I think it did, they're too loud or they were reckless. So as Ritchson is riding his motorcycle with his kids behind him in the street, the neighborhood steps out in front of him. And then they exchange 4-letter words. And then Ritchson gets out to go again, and the neighbor steps out again. And then this happens. Let's play the clip right now, and I'll narrate it.
Seen on a video just beating the snot out of a neighbor. The neighbor is Ronnie Taylor, and he's a guy who says, we live in this fancy Nashville suburb, and Alan Ritchson always zooms by on these motorbikes at excessive speed.
Sometimes with his kids who follow on their mini bikes. The neighbor says Saturday he runs out to complain, flips Ritchson off, Ritchson flips him off, and that's that. We spoke to the neighbor who says...
And then there are numerous people in my neighborhood who caught all of this on Ring doorbells.
Yeah, okay, so we see this, and then we saw just now released, apparently Ritchson has body cam when he's driving around, because maybe he thinks, oh, I'm going to get in a fight with someone. I don't know why.
Well, if you look online, you'll see a lot of bikers who will stick a GoPro or something on the top of their helmets. I think a lot of them are doing it because they are concerned about police interaction. Because I've seen a number of these videos where people who have been pulled over by police have got the video record of it to show, well, wait a minute, I wasn't speeding, or I wasn't traveling recklessly, or whatever. So I mean, that may be why he has it. I don't know.
So apparently Fox News says, that clip is, I should never bring them up because they always go to audio, but basically the neighbor who's not bringing charges, the neighbor admitted he stepped in the street. Ritchson was going to considering bringing charges to the neighbor. He's not. The police are not going to file any charges on anybody. As an assistant district attorney, Judson, if you had a circumstance like this, what would you do?
Well, for starters, I would be hoping the cops would not bother to get a warrant so I would never have to deal with it. But that's the kind of case that that prosecutors sometimes get stuck with, and you really dread having it happen. Because nobody's going to take a deal on that one, so you're going to spend a day in trial and probably lose. From a legal point of view,
prosecuting either one of them.
Yeah, either one of them.
Why would you probably lose?
Because the jury will take a look at it. Well, there's 2 aspects of it: a legal side and a practical side. Practical side. Jury takes a look at it. And you're going to have a really hard time getting 12 people to agree that these guys were anything other than butt heads with each other, and they just kind of deserved, the guy steps out in front of the bike twice
in the street. That's a bad move.
Maybe you deserve a beat down for that. And then if it's the other way around, I don't know, Alan Ritchson. I've got the impression, just from what little I've seen about this, he probably wouldn't come off that well in front of a jury. I think there's a lot of arrogance there, and arrogant people just don't do well in front of juries.
They don't.
But from a legal point of view, there's a doctrine called mutual combat. And it basically is this. If 2 guys decide that they're going to throw it down and just start throwing punches with each other, and it's not where one guy just, out of the blue just leans back and just pops the other guy without warning, but 2 guys basically hold the hands up, we're ready to go. You start throwing hooks and crosses and jabs. You're not going to it's not going to be a case of the loser running to the courthouse to have the winner put in jail. It just from a legal point of view,
in Tennessee, it doesn't fly.
Yeah. From a legal point of view, it's like, okay, you're as much as, you agreed to this fight, you're as much at fault as the other guy is. So neither of y'all are going to, win here.
Yeah, the neighbor, stepping. This is a thoroughfare, and he's right, and maybe he's loud, okay, and but he's got his kids behind him.
Yeah, look, there are plenty of ways to deal with issues like this without being a hothead. You can call the police. You can.
The neighbor could have called the police. He didn't, though.
Yeah, you can flag him down without stepping in front of him and just say, hey, would you please? You call your HOA. I mean, there's any number of options you've got here that don't involve.
It looked like they both were looking to rumble.
Yeah, and I've not seen his helmet video, so I've just seen a couple of the reports that were out there, that are clearly. They have video from the Ring doorbells.
Yeah.
And it looked pretty mutual from those.
It was. It looks like they're both a couple of knuckleheads. And on that note, we'll be back with more actual news of the day with Judson Phillips. Back after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
The Trump administration has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system, but there is only so much the government can do. And if we really want to make America healthy again, that starts at home, and that's where the Wellness Company comes in. The Wellness Company allows you to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits, which contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of these medications. The Wellness Company also offers a variety of health products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more, helping you stay healthy and live a longer, better, healthier life. Make America healthy again. That starts at home. So do your part and protect the health of you and your family. All you have to do is go to twc.health/Godzilla today and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10%. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. We're talking with Judson Phillips. And finally, Judson, we're getting to news of the day. You brought to my attention a recent article in Fortune magazine. It's troublesome. Tell us why it's troublesome, what they concluded.
It's not troublesome. It is alarming. It is the kind of thing that should be keeping everybody up at night. And here's what it is. Fortune magazine reported on the financial state of America. The U.S. government released essentially what is a balance sheet for the U.S. The United States has roughly $6 trillion in assets. It has roughly $48 trillion in debt, liabilities. Now, that's pretty bad. That's 8-to-1 debt-to-equity ratio. That is really bad. If you had a company that had that kind of debt-to-equity ratio and you wanted to sell it, you couldn't give the company away. But what's alarming is what they have are off-book liabilities. These are sometimes called unfunded liabilities, contingent liabilities. These are things like Social Security, Medicaid, loan guarantees, pension guarantees, things like that. That total is roughly $130 trillion. Now, to put, and again, the U.S. has $6 trillion in assets. To put that in a little bit different perspective, the gross domestic product of the U.S. right now is roughly 30 to 31 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
So we are underwater, and just depending on which numbers you want to look at, we're beyond underwater. And we're doing okay right now because, just to be blunt, we have Donald Trump as president. He's cutting regulation. The Republicans have cut taxes. So it's stimulated the economy. It's keeping us afloat. But here's the thing that literally keeps me up at night worrying. What happens if we have another black swan event?
Tell everybody what you mean by a black swan event.
Something unexpected and something very catastrophic.
So there are no black swans, except once in a lifetime you'll see a black swan.
We're gonna see more than one in a lifetime, because we had the 2008 market meltdown. We had 9/11, and excuse me, and we've seen those kind of things. And what alarms me is if we don't resolve the Iran war quickly and favorably, we can't let the Islamic regime stay in power in Iran. But we've got to get gas prices down.
So this is a bit of a problem. So the dead enders, the hardcore Iranian leadership, even though the heads, the top 2 or 3 layers have been eliminated, those that remain keep lobbing those drones and ballistic missiles out, and they keep saying, yeah, we're not going to let you go through the Straits of Hormuz, even though a few of them got through the other day.
Some have got through.
But they are, and they are, I mean, they publicly hung a 19-year-old wrestling champion for allegedly, killing a policeman during riots. I doubt that happened at all. And now they've arrested like 450 people and put them in their terrible prisons for allegedly cooperating with the left, and they probably just use the internet. I mean, these are hardcore, we're going to win and crush any opposition types.
The thing that a lot of people don't realize, and I'm a little shocked that this is not talked about more often, these hardcore jihadists who run Iran, they believe in this ideology that says they need to create World War III so that they can have their version of the Second Coming.
Right.
And that's alarming because they apparently are extremely close to getting nuclear weapons. And if their goal is to create World War III, well, plant a few nukes someplace, blow up a couple of places, get the war going, and then, that's alarming. How many millions would die because we don't deal with these people? And so, Donald Trump, I saw today that there's like a 15-point plan for peace that the Trump administration has floated out there.
And which one group of Iranians rejected this morning.
Yes. And, I've said this before about Donald Trump, and I'll say this again. Donald Trump, at his core, is a deal maker.
Mm-hmm.
And about 90% of the time, that is an absolutely awesome skill to be able to put on the table. But there are certain times you cannot make a deal. There are certain times you just have to face evil and destroy it. And in this case with Iran, that's what we got to do here. The Iranian regime as it exists cannot be permitted to survive. The only deal that ought to be onto the table for these guys is we'll give you a week to find another country to live in. We'll let you take some of your money with you, but you're going to get out. And then once you're out, live in exile. We won't bother you. But unfortunately, I fear that there's going to be an attempt to work out a deal which would, fit Donald Trump's kind of wheelhouse, plus, the globalists who are always big on, we need to make a deal with
There's
these
a
people.
timeline here issue, and the timeline ties to the midterm elections, it seems to me, right?
Yes.
And public reaction to this. I think at a strategic level, you are 1,000% correct that there is no way that we can continue with the regime there that wants to basically destroy the rest of the world and run it as a Muslim caliphate.
Exactly.
Right? That's their objective.
Yeah. And, with the midterms, it is a hard deadline coming up because we've got to get gas prices down because, gas prices, I'm paying more, I think maybe $1.50 more a gallon now than I was just a few weeks ago.
Well, we're at the end of March. Early voting for the midterms will begin in September.
Yes.
So we've got 6 months.
We've got to do that. And that doesn't even account for other things, such as an Iranian terrorist attack. If they do a 9/11 on us, which I think they can do.
Well, let's talk about that. And it looks like the Democrat Party is doing everything they possibly can to make it easy for a domestic terrorist attack.
You have to ask whose side are they on?
Well, I think I know.
Yeah, but
they are not on the side of traditional Americans.
Yeah, but here's what'll happen. I'll tell you. Here's how the next 9/11 will happen. You've seen the drones that have been used.
Yeah.
The Shahed drones and others. You can basically get the parts for these drones off of Alibaba. An Israeli newspaper did a story on this a few days ago, and they called it the IKEA of terrorist weapons. These new drones can have a long range, can carry an explosive payload, and now can be controlled by AI. They used to be, they were radio controlled, then they were fiber optic controlled, and now they are doing them with AI. And here's what will happen. They will launch drones like Ukraine did against Russia a couple of years ago, where they got the tractor trailers around the air bases, launched them, and destroyed a bunch of their strategic bombers. Well, in this case, what I think they will do, this is what keeps me up at night, is I think they'll launch drones against American airports, take down planes as they're coming in for landings when they're low and slow. And, the newspaper headlines the next day will show airports in flames. And the problem with that is these Islamic terrorists, they always think of two things when they make a target: symbolic value and economic damage. That's why they hit the World Trade Center twice. Everybody thinks about 9/11, but remember, in 1993, they did a bombing that was supposed to knock down the World Trade Centers, and had it gone according to plan, it might well have. But if they do another 9/11 like that, which I think is the easy thing for them to do, think about what that would do to America. That would destroy the commercial airline business in America overnight. No, if you have these guys around a bunch of different airports, they launch drones, they take down.
You're talking about sleeper cells in
sleeper
America.
cell. They take down 3, 4, 5, 10 aircraft. Nobody is going to get on a plane ever again. You will destroy a huge segment of the American economy, That would plunge us into a very immediate recession, if not a depression. And who's going to benefit from having a depression?
It's a little earlier in the day for our listeners to go have a drink. But you paint a worst case scenario. Now, look, you and I are just sitting here in this radio studio talking about this. Donald Trump's thinking about this. Sean Duffy's thinking about this.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah, they are. I think that there are countermeasures already being undertaken on this.
I hope so, because, this is, the terrorists always use asymmetrical warfare.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to go one-on-one against us. They don't have any nuclear aircraft carriers to compete against ours. But what they can do is come in and do an asymmetrical attack like that. And I saw something, I was looking on Instagram this morning, and there was a video of Iranian drones that penetrated an Iraqi military base. Used to be an American base. And they had the video of them taking out a Black Hawk helicopter and a big radar site. And this is coming. And I hope that they have really bright people preventing this. But, after 9/11, we got air passengers back because, the TSA was created, Homeland Security was created. And it, at least in theory, created an extra level of protection within the airport, which is all you had to have. But now, if they do these drone attacks, which I'm thinking that's what they will do, these can be launched from hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
There is no way to shut those down.
Here's the thing. Now, you're Greek Orthodox.
Yes.
Catholic, right? The Roman Catholic leader, Pope Leo, has basically called for a ban on aerial military strikes amid the Iran war. He called the Iran war, quote, a scandal to the whole human family. He has issued a sharp condemnation of these aerial bombardments. He has no idea about evil, does he?
No. I don't recall him issuing any condemnations against the Iranian regime when it was out there murdering 30,000 of its citizens. But, the strikes that we're doing, it's not like we're going out and carpet bombing their cities like we did to Germany during World War II. We're hitting precision targets. We're hitting military targets, their ships at sea, their military infrastructure, rocket launch sites, things like that.
Well, we're going to talk about something more fun in our next segment.
Yes, because this one got a little depressing really quickly.
Well, it's you got to look at all the possibilities. My confidence is that our side is prepared for exactly what you described.
I
we'll
hope
see that.
so.
Well, when we get back, he's Judson Phillips. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
President Trump is already transforming Washington, D.C., making it the safest, cleanest, and most beautiful city in the world. But we need fighters on the ground to keep it going. I'm John Fredericks, and I'm running for chairman of D.C. GOP Ward 2 to make sure Trump's vision for this city becomes a reality. Safe streets, clean neighborhoods, and yes, rat-free. Go to MakeDCGreat.com. That's MakeDCGreat.com right now and send a donation. Let's finish what President Trump started. Donation limit $200. I'm John Fredericks, and I paid for this ad.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's gonna ship absolutely free.
To take advantage of the second annual mega sale, go to MyPillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla.
Congratulations to my friend Michael Patrick Leahy on 9 years of journalistic excellence. I'm Lenny McGill, owner and founder of the Glock Store here in Nashville, Tennessee, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy's Tennessee Star Network for over 5 years. When we started, he was on just one local station. Now, he's on 20 stations. His motto, find the truth and report it. And as long as he sticks to that, we'll stick to being a sponsor. And next year, Michael, let's have a party for you right here at the Glock Store.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Our guest, All-Star panelist, good friend, Judson Phillips. Judson, we have talked a long time about how there are a bunch of crazy leftists in America who run some of the blue states, maybe a dirty dozen of them, maybe more, right? California, New York, etc., Illinois. But American constitutional liberty exists in Tennessee, does it not?
It does. Fortunately, like Florida, like a few other states,
yeah.
we're a free state here.
You know who's really helped Florida become conservative? New York State.
Yes.
Because all the conservatives in New York State look at the rising taxes and say, I'm getting the heck out of here. Well, and they move down to Florida.
You remember Governor Hochul, who like 4 years ago said, if you're a Republican, we don't want you here. And now, just what was it, last week, she releases a video saying, talk to your friends who moved to Florida, have them come back because we need their money.
Well, you mean the bucktooth Botox bandit from Buffalo.
Yes.
The governor.
Yeah. Hochul.
That's Sean Farash uses that term to describe her. He'll be here in our next hour. Okay. The whining liberals at NPR, which
National Propaganda Radio.
Yeah, which has lost their subsidies from the federal government finally. Here in Nashville, WPLN, they put this story out right now, and it's just so terrible. It's so terrible. Headline, fossil fuel companies will be shielded from climate lawsuits in Tennessee. Fossil fuel companies just gained more power in Tennessee. This is by Caroline Eggers. The General Assembly passed a bill this week to shield oil and gas giants from being held liable for damages caused by climate change. Legal tensions between people, government, and big polluters have been heating up across the nation. From Honolulu, left wing, to Maine, bunch of left-wing nuts there. Dozens of local community states and individuals have sued fossil fuel companies and their trade associations for allegedly lying to consumers about climate change risks and solutions. Tennessee will now preemptively block such lawsuits. And that's a bad thing because?
Yeah. These climate change lawsuits are just the latest thing that the left is trying to throw up against a wall, see if it'll stick. Interestingly, Maryland Supreme Court, I think just yesterday, killed a lawsuit, one of these lawsuits that was brought against.
So what's the injury that's caused to the people in a class action law? What is the alleged injury?
That's a good question. I've never seen it thoroughly explained, other than some vague. We're in anguish because it might be a little bit warmer.
Well, the evidence that it's a slight increase of 1 or 2 degrees in the overall climate of the world over 100 years is there, but this idea that it's carbon dioxide,
the
from
idea
fossil fuels that's causing it is unproven.
Yeah, the idea it is man-made.
Yeah.
Is so spurious, because if you look back in history, we've had our temperatures go up, we've had our temperatures go down
over millennia.
Yes, yeah. And what seems to be the primary driver of that is our sun, with solar cycles, and those seem to be the big things that drive the variations in climate. But I guess these idiot liberals think that the climate is just a static thing, that we got up this morning, it was 78 degrees, it's never going to change. And that's not how this works. Our climate changes. We have record heat, we have record low, and then guess what? We got a lot of time in between the two. I think if I recall, earlier this winter, Middle Tennessee broke a record for cold temperatures.
Yeah.
But that record had stood for like 75 or 80 years. And so, yes, you're going to have some outliers, but the idea that it's even caused by climate change is just utterly ridiculous. And at the end of the day, what they're really hoping for, I say the plaintiffs in these cases and their lawyers, they're hoping for a lawsuit that somehow or another they'll get a judge to make it stick, and then once it sticks, they can extort some kind of settlement out of the oil company, primarily in paying attorney's fees.
Yeah, that's how a lot of these guys get rich. And of course, the reporter here, so terrible. They end this story with this subheadline: Tennessee lawmakers support the fossil fuel industry. Tennessee is often among the first states to pass legislation lobbied for by fossil fuel industry companies. Since 2022, the state legislature has passed measures to preempt local governments from blocking fossil fuel projects. That's good. To boycott banks that divest from fossil fuels, to increase felony charges for people protesting pipelines, and to preempt bans on gas stoves. Okay, that's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, all those things are good. And I can't help but notice all these climate scammers.
Yeah.
They're all posting online using computers that are created with various petroleum, oil, things like that, and other good products, the internet, which we would not have but for fossil fuels.
Yeah.
It's just nonstop with these people, and they don't get the irony of their hypocrisy.
Another great reason to live in the great state of Tennessee. Judson Phillips. Oh, listen.
It's the sound of freedom.
It's 47. And Sean Farash, the helicopter's coming. Look, it's landing in our landing pad right in front of our studios. All right, Sean Farash and 47 will join us after this. Thank you, Judson, for joining us today.
As always, a blast.
All right, back with Sean Farash and 47 after the break.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
And they gave me a curveball question. Price of oil is $88 today. I said, it's a temporary thing, but I have something to inform you. And I'm going to say it very slowly. Under President Biden, the price of oil was $80, $90, $100 for 4 years. Under President Trump, maybe it's going to be $80 for 1 month.
Katz and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Did I say it slowly enough to everybody understand?
I love that.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live.
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis. Listen 24/7 with the News Talk 760 app, available in the Apple Store and Google Play.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Most Americans say they don't support the ongoing war against Iran.
A new AP North poll shows that a majority of Americans surveyed believe the military action against Iran has gone too far. 90% of Democrats feel that way, as do about 60% of independents. Republicans are more divided. The polling data show that many Americans are worried about affording gasoline. Keeping the price at the pump down is the rare goal that unites both major political parties. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Pakistan, volunteering to broker an end to the war, has sent Tehran a 15-point ceasefire proposal. John Gamble reports so far it's having little effect.
So it remains unclear whether this 15-point plan is going to be enough to try to get to the negotiating table, but these new troop movements, as well as the soon-to-be arrival of more U.S. Marines to the region, again puts up the pressure on Iran as attacks show no signs of stopping.
As correspondent John Gamble, there is a verdict in New Mexico's landmark social media trial.
A New Mexico jury has found social media conglomerate Meta harmful to children's mental health in violation of the state's consumer protection law. Prosecutors say Meta, which owns Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, prioritize profits over safety. Attorneys for Meta say the company discloses risks and makes efforts to weed out harmful content and experiences. Jurors found there were thousands of violations, each counting separately towards a penalty of $375 million. New Mexico's case was among the first to reach trial. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
West Texas Intermediate crude oil down about $2.45 a gallon with lower oil prices. Stocks have been rising. On Wall Street, the Dow up about 312 points. The Nasdaq 187 points to the good at this hour, and the S&P 500 is up by 38. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here, host of the Mike Gallagher Show. As we head into spring, there's some good news in the housing market. Rates have recently dropped. When rates drop, payments can drop. That can mean hundreds of dollars a month back in your pocket, money you can use to pay bills, reduce debt, or strengthen your financial position. That's why this is the time to talk to my friends at Fellowship Home Loans. They're helping homeowners refinance into lower rates and reduce their monthly mortgage payments. Fellowship also offers a fixed rate line of credit for home projects or consolidating a high interest debt with fast approval and a predictable rate. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next 2 mortgage payments. That's 2 months of breathing room while you reposition financially. I've used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Before you make your next move, go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
With the midday Wall Street Business Report, here's Rich Thomason.
Wall Street appears cautiously optimistic, and oil prices have tumbled roughly 6% over the possibility of a de-escalation of the Iran war and talks between the U.S. and Iran. Brent crude fell more than $6.25 per barrel to $93.97. Benchmark U.S. crude gave back $5.63 early today to $86.72 a barrel. The Trump administration has offered a 15-point ceasefire plan to Iran. The president says Tehran is anxious for a deal. Shares of Facebook parent Meta are rising after a New Mexico jury determined the company knowingly harmed children's mental health and concealed what it knew about child sexual exploitation on its social media platforms. Jurors ordered Meta to pay a $375 million penalty. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Julie Walker reports on the investigation into that deadly crash at New York's LaGuardia Airport Sunday between a jet and a fire truck.
Investigators say one of only 2 air traffic controllers on duty at LaGuardia Airport cleared a fire truck to cross a runway just 12 seconds before the Air Canada flight touched down Sunday night around 11:30. The collision killed both pilots. That audio from the tower, courtesy liveatc.net. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy says they're working to determine which of the airport's safety precautions failed.
We rarely, if ever, investigate a major accident where it was one failure.
One area of concern.
The midnight shift, as a reminder, is one that we have many times at the NTSB raised concerns about.
Julie Walker, New York.
Among the areas being explored, whether the fire truck heard the controller's last-second pleas to stop. You'll find more on these stories at Town Hall.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Well, it's been taking them a while to land, but there they are. And yeah, it is landed, coming out of the helicopter in our landing pad right in front of our studios right now is 47 and, of course, Sean Farash walking together into the studio. And here is 47. Mr. President, welcome back to Tennessee. You're here on a Wednesday. You spent all day Monday in Memphis. You must really love Tennessee.
Well, we love Tennessee. We do very well in Tennessee. And we did very well in Memphis. We went to Elvis's home. I got along well with Elvis. He's a great guy. I called him Pelvis Presley because he shook the hips like nobody's ever seen. I taught him how to dance like that, too. But he shook the hips like nobody's ever seen. And he was a great guy. He said to me, "Sir, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, sir." And I said, "But I'm a beautiful, I'm a ferocious dog with a very powerful bite." And he said, "Those illegals, return to sender, sir." It's a great song. We wrote it together. But Pelvis Presley was a tremendous guy. And his hips, he moves the hips. But the Trump dance is better than anything he's ever done, the YMCA. Well, I call it the MAGA, but it's a tremendous thing, right? And we got along well with Elvis. We got along well with Graceland. I built Graceland with my own 2 hands. And it's really my house. Did I realize that?
Is it true they're considering changing the name from Graceland to Megaland?
They're calling it Trumpland now. They're looking at it because we were there, or Greatland. Think of it.
Greatland.
And at Memphis, we cleaned it up. We cleaned up a lot of the filth and the crime. We got them the hell out. We cleaned it up, and we're very happy about it. Everybody in Memphis seems to be very happy about it, too.
Now, this I found interesting. You were asked about his experience he did karate, right? And apparently, there were reports that he became fairly good at it. Somebody asked, do you think, how would you have done in a karate fight with Elvis?
I would have done very well. They said to me, "Sir, aren't you a black belt, sir?" I said, "No, it's called belt of color." You have to be careful. But, and I'm a belt of color in several martial arts. You look at, there's one of them, it's called Krav Maga. They say, "Sir, it's Krav Maga." No, it's Krav Maga. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm a belt of color in American Jiu-Jitsu. We've taken it from the Brazilians because the Brazilians are out to lunch. You look at karate, taekwondo. They call me Taekwondan. It's a tremendous job. We do a tremendous job. They call me Sensei. They say to me, Sensei, sir, Donaldson, what are we going to do here? I said, wax on, wax off. I got along very well with Mr. Miyagi. He's a tremendous person, but they call me the Karate King. Not the Karate Kid, the Karate King. And I could have taken Elvis. He was a talented guy, but I could have taken him.
Mr. President, so the Prime Minister of Japan came here, I think last week it was. And in the Oval Office, she announced that they were giving us 250 more cherry trees to celebrate our 250th birthday. And then I found this quite interesting. So a Japanese reporter, and you're sitting there right next to the Japanese Prime Minister, who really is a great woman and a big fan of yours. And the reporter says, well, Mr. President, why didn't you let us know in advance? Why didn't you let us know, the Japanese government, in advance of the attacks upon the Iranian regime with the bombs and the like? And what was your response to that?
Well, we said, you didn't let us know about Pearl Harbor, right? It's called the element of surprise. And we let them know before we dropped the atom bomb. 2 times. We dropped the leaflets. We said we're going to do it. They thought we weren't going to do it, and then we did it. And I told them if they don't give us the cherry trees, if they don't make a deal, we're going to do it again. And we're going to drop Stacey Abrams this time, and then Jiggly Belly Pritzker. And that's going to be worse than an atom bomb. You talk about a shockwave. They're never going to see it. They're never going to recover from it. When you drop Jiggly Belly, and he's lost a little bit of weight, but he's still a big boy. And when you drop him, and you drop Stacey Abrams, the beast of the Southeast, you drop her. And when you drop Katie Porter, and when you drop Chris Christie, the shockwave and the crater, you look at the crater, we're going to put Japan underwater. It's going to make Nagasaki, we call it Magasaki. It's going to make that look like a passing shower, so they know not to mess with us because they don't want Chris Christie. We'll even take Rosie from Ireland and drop her on Japan. She's going to eat all the rice. They're going to have nothing. So, no, they know not to mess with us. And,
so
but we get along very well with them.
This business of Jiggly Belly Pritzker, who does appear to be losing weight.
Thank you, Trump RX, by the way. Thank you, Trump RX. He said to me, sir, thank you, Trump RX. It's nice and affordable now.
You know that part of Chicago by a pier where he was walking about, I don't know, like a month ago saying how safe it was. Well, it wasn't very safe for an 18-year-old college freshman who was there about 1 o'clock one evening. And he apparently, an illegal criminal from Venezuela, shot and killed her just for the heck of it the other day. Jiggly Belly blamed you for that, Mr. President.
Well, of course he did. And he could blame me for whatever the hell he wants because everybody knows he's a liar and he's full of hot air. This is why we call him a gas giant. You look at the planets in the solar system. You have Jupiter, you have Saturn, you have Neptune, and you have Jiggly Belly Pritzker, or as I call him, Uranus, right? Think about it. And he's a gas giant. And he could blame me for whatever the hell he wants. As long as he doesn't try to eat me, we're going to be okay. Because I hear he does that. There's only one way you could get so big. It's like being Pac-Man. We call him Snack Man. He's just eating everything inside. But now he's on GLP-1, thanks to Trump RX. He's on Ozempic or something like that.
He's got to be because he's
slimming down quite quickly. But he's going to put it right back when he has a failed run for president. He's never run for anything a day in his life. You're trying to live to 100. You used to run. You run like crazy. He can't run. He could barely crawl. You look at those knees. His knees are in rough shape. You're carrying around all that weight. His knees are in rough shape. You look at Jiggly Belly, so. And his belly is still quite big. A lot bigger than mine. That's the only thing he has that's bigger than me, though. I have to tell you that. He's a horrible person.
Speaking of horrible people, Gavin Newsom is at it again. And this time, he's criticizing 23-year-old Nick Shirley for pointing out the fact that there's all sorts of fraud going on in Los Angeles. What do you think of Gavin Newsom?
Well, he ought to be ashamed of himself, and he ought to be ashamed of all the grease that he puts in his hair. He's a slimy person, and he can't read. He said that to a room full of people who you're not supposed to say that to. He says, I'm stupid just like you are. It's a nasty thing to say. I'd never say that. And I would never get away with saying that, but I would never say that. But Gavin Newsom ought to be ashamed of himself. He is a fraud. He doesn't like it because he is a fraud. And he's a horrible governor. He thinks he's running for president, but he's not going to win. He's going to lose bigly to J.D. Vance, not Jiggly Belly, to J.D. Vance. Or Marco. We'll see who runs, but I think it's going to be J.D.
You think it's going to be
J.D.?
J.D.?
Do a great job. He's going to do a great job.
So, you know, the betting markets now are putting Marco is on the rise. JD, he hasn't really gone down much, but Marco's really on the rise.
Well, that's because they want to give Marco a new job. Every day of the week, they want to give him a new job. He's the new Ayatollah of Iran. He might be the new coach of the Tennessee Titans halfway through the year. Who knows? Or the Jets.
Or the North Carolina Tar Heels in basketball.
UNC Tar Heels, too. But they're giving him, he might be the new Bachelorette, too.
Ooh,
you know, because they canceled it because that lady's a crazy person. She started throwing stools at her husband. It's a horrible story.
Yeah, but why? And apparently ABC knew all about the fact that she had a felony conviction for throwing those chairs at her boyfriend.
Well, she's a crazy person. She really is a nasty person.
I hear the helicopter. Do you have to go back to Washington?
We have to go to Washington.
We always like having you here, Mr. President.
Oh, we love to be here.
Can Sean Frost stick around?
He could stick around.
Well, we have questions for him. He's been very popular of late. All right, we'll be back with Sean Frost, and we'll say goodbye to 47 as he heads back to Washington, D.C.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, TIREGET.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. 47 has left the building, going back to Washington, D.C., but we are so fortunate that the very best Trump impersonator in the world, by far, the one, the only, Sean Farash, is here in studio. Welcome, Sean.
Well, happy to be here again on a Wednesday, on a hump day and a Trump day.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a Trump day.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
That's right.
And you are here. Now, you know, Donald Trump is well known for saying, in Trump 2.0, the United States is a hot country.
It's a hot country.
It's the hottest country in the world.
We were a dead country. Now we're a hot country.
We were a dead country, and now we are a hot country. Now, I will tell you this. The hottest rising media star in the country right now is sitting right next to me.
Oh, I
Sean
don't know
Farash.
about that. I don't know about that. We're having a good time. I don't know about the hottest, but it's cool.
To me, I would say, now Nick Shirley had a really good run, and he's still, doing great stuff. But Sean, every time I turn around, there's Sean Farash guest hosting for Dan Bongino. Now, you're going to be guest hosting again for who is it?
Joe Pags tonight, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a good time on his radio show.
He's on like 170 stations.
Yeah, he's on a lot of stations. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good time.
6 to 9.
It's going to be a good time.
How do you prepare for a national radio program?
The same way I prepare for my streaming show and any other radio I do. I just, find material, get ready to talk about it. That's it.
In the news?
What's going on in the news, personal stories, and, a little bit of humor in between, and we have a good time. That's what we're going to do.
So you're like an overnight success after 10 years of working at it.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's one way to put it. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah, it's, it's still a grind, but it's fun. It's stuff I like to do.
But I think you're having increasingly more fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun to be able to do this type of work. It is. We're having a lot of fun in all aspects of it, locally, nationally, et
Can you
cetera.
share a little secret with us? Because I know when you do your 2-minute videos as Trump, they get a lot of coverage, but you do them based upon what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, it's Wednesday, I have to do my Trump video.
Right.
Your last one was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, last week.
As you're thinking this through, what will cause you to do another one?
It could be anything.
Could be
honestly, well, I'm thinking of some concepts that aren't even related to the news, just silly stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Bringing back one of my old favorites, like the Trump GPS. I'm just waiting for a good moment. The aliens bit is going to be something when they start releasing the alien stuff. But you got this Iran thing going on right now, which everyone's focused on. So, it makes it kind of tough.
So
the news is very negative these days.
It is.
It's not,
yeah.
So when we have like positive stories, like the hockey team, we did one for the hockey team and all that. It makes it better.
So I don't know exactly how this will fit, but you might find this inspirational. So I'm a big fan of a science fiction writer by the name of Andy Weir.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Martian, which turned into a pretty big hit.
The movie with Matt Damon?
The one with Matt Damon. Then he wrote a book called Project Hail Mary. And they just released that over the weekend. It's a huge hit. Huge hit. If you went to see that movie, you might be inspired. So that's just, I'm just suggesting.
Okay.
I won't get into it, but Ryan Gosling is a star.
Okay.
But there's lots of.
I saw the commercials for it.
Yeah. I would suggest you consider that. But look, you've got a great track record, and when the muse comes to you,
that's what I wait for.
You wait for the muse,
because there's a lot of people online who will be like, "Do this, do that," and I'm like, no, nothing personal about the suggestions, and I always love the suggestions. But if I'm not feeling it,
don't
like
do
I
it.
said I was going to do an alien one a couple weeks ago, and I was recording it for like over an hour.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening.
It didn't.
I was like, nope, this isn't the time.
Well, that's the thing. And this is a little bit of the pressure that you have, because every one of your videos does very well.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make sure. But now the pressure is people have an expectation of chanterage. Right. So you want to make sure it's right. And so often you're probably right. If you're not feeling it,
that's it.
Don't do it.
You know,
right?
I mean, for example, the Bad Bunny one that I put out on Super Sunday, I was sitting on that one since October.
Yeah.
Since he got named the halftime act.
Bad
You know, the hurricane season one, I had to wait till I thought about that at the beginning of hurricane season. In June, I had to wait till December, you know. But and then it happened, and I had to put it through, and it worked. Worked out well.
Wait for the muse.
That's
the muse
it.
comes.
Marco Rubio liked hurricane season, so that was good. You know?
Well, here's the other part.
The new head of NOAA, right? Marco Rubio.
Here's the other part about this is because you have such a great track record, high level, high visibility people, when you put something out, they'll pay attention to it. But again, these are people that know how to entertain. These are people who know how to recognize news stories with a hook.
Yep.
Right?
So
It's very, very, very interesting. All right. I want to get back to some political stories here right now. And I'm going to bring this to your attention and get your reaction to it. You might want to get your headphones ready for this. So you are a refugee from the formerly great state of New York.
Yep.
And the mayor of New York is continually going on the Islamist game plan.
Oh, yeah.
In a big way. But the media is really giving him softball interviews. I want to play this hard-hitting interview that one of the fawning media in New York did with Zoran Mamdani. We'll play this clip right now.
About retaliation, it is illegal. You tell a worker organization, tell your union, tell your friends. We will take anonymous complaints to DCWP. We'll reach out to workers ourselves. Nobody should be afraid to report violations to the city of New York. We are here to stand up for you, and we will find a way to reach you, even if you don't give us your name right away.
We will.
More questions?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let's see. A lot of them are, what are the additional rights? I think okay, now this is important.
Okay.
I'm very curious about the mayor. This is a hardball for the mayor.
Go for it.
This is from Desiree Battle 9921. Sour cream or no sour cream?
As a life question?
As a life question. And
okay, so he's eating Taco Bell. And is that like a political comms hack, communications hack working for the mayor that's taking...
I have no idea who that even is. All I know is it reminds me of when Kamala Harris was sitting down with one of the hacks on the mainstream media, and she asked, do you know the recipe for a Big Mac? And they went through the stupid jingle, you know, because Kamala lied and said she worked for McDonald's. I don't think she ever did. Same thing. What are we asking about fast food for? This guy's the mayor of New York City. They're running a budget deficit. He's about to spend $2 million on engagement activists. People that are going to go around New York City and spread his socialist propaganda. So he's going to take $2 million of taxpayer money and hire people to advocate why they need even more of your money to spend it on other people. It's just, I cannot believe how fast things are moving in New York. I'm here to watch it crash and burn, unfortunately. That's the only thing that's there.
There's more.
Yeah, of course there is.
Do you know how much the city of New York is currently spending on every single homeless person?
$81,000 per person.
Isn't that crazy?
It's insane. It's insane. And I understand helping the homeless, but come on, we gotta find a different way to do it.
The average TSA agent who works at LaGuardia JFK makes less than $81,000.
Of course they do, and they're not getting paid right now.
And they're not even getting paid right now.
Unbelievable. That's why I love what Delta Airlines did. Said, oh, yeah, Congress, no special privileges for you. Good, Nancy Mace, okay? And I'm not just Nancy Mace. All these people, they cut the line, but she was on the video cutting the line. I hated that. I hated seeing that. You're not above us. I hate that.
Yeah, she was there with, who's the, Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Oh, yeah, another one.
From Florida, the Democrat.
Another one, right.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Also, you see what Zoran, his team is doing with... they went to the 9/11 memorial and covered up the
I saw that
the monuments to the those who died during 9/11.
With their rugs for Ramadan
with Ramadan Muslim rugs.
Yeah, no, they should be happy that I don't live there anymore, because that would be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly, extending your arm of friendship to the rest of the community.
No, it's not very inclusive.
How did this happen in basically, it's not even 25 years.
Yeah, 24 years.
Yeah, it'll be 25 years
25
in
in
September.
Yeah. This is what happens when your education system is a disaster. You have all these young people voting for him thinking it's the right thing to do. It's a righteous thing because that's what they were taught. And that's the design. The education system in this country is broken beyond repair. It needs to be destroyed. It needs to be destroyed, sent back to the states, and razed to the ground and built back up again. There's no fixing it, especially all these teachers' unions and stuff, leveraging their money and influence. It's awful.
Yeah, in New York City, I saw this report that most of the top 100 schools are not part of the mainstream public system, but if our charter schools.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, of course. It's, there's your argument for school choice right there.
When we come back, Sean Farash, I know you're okay with this. I want to talk some sports with you.
Oh yeah.
Now, you're more of an NFL guy, right? But you watch March Madness, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I got a New York angle for you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
And an SEC angle.
Okay.
Back with Sean Farash after this.
Everyone, EJ Host here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at DT McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. DT McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Sean Frost, the very best Trump impersonator in the world, here in studio with us because it's Hump Day, Trump Day.
That's right.
Hour 3 of Wednesday, always Trump Day. And so we're big sports guys here.
Yes.
And you love hockey.
I'm a big fan.
And NFL.
Yes.
You happen to have the curse of being a New York Jets fan.
Well, that's a curse. That's a curse, all right. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But right now, I want to talk about March Madness, NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
They're down to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Now, your alma mater, Hofstra on Long Island, made it to the dance.
They did.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they had a nice first half against Alabama. Not a great second half, but it was nice for them. Nice to see them in there.
Alabama crushed them 90-70.
Yeah. First half was good for Hofstra. Second half, no.
No, not good.
Not good.
Now, we have another New York angle on all of this. Rick Pitino.
The Johnnies.
St. John's.
Yeah.
They used to be called the Redmen.
Right.
Now they're called what? The Storm?
The Red Storm or
the
something.
Red Storm.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But, growing up, I would watch Big East basketball. And I'm from upstate New York, so I would be a Syracuse fan.
Mm-hmm.
Virtually every starter.
Syracuse Orange, right?
Yeah, Syracuse Orange, yeah.
Were they ever the Orange Men?
Yeah, they're sometimes called the Orange Men.
It's Trump, Orange Man bad.
They're,
Can't do that anymore.
Virtually every starter for Syracuse for years was a kid from New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They'd go down, recruit him, come and play.
Come back up, yep.
But the Big East was terrific in the 70s and 80s when you had Georgetown and Providence College and Syracuse and St. John's. And, of course, St. John's, you had the great Lou Carnesecca there. And they had a Final Four team, I think, didn't they, once?
I think so.
St. John's. They used to be the Indians, and now because that's politically incorrect.
Right.
Storm.
Right.
Talk about a comeback story. Rick Pitino. I think he's originally from the New York City area, isn't he?
I think so.
Or Massachusetts.
Something
like
in the Northeast.
He went to UMass. He played ball. He was a point guard.
Yeah.
What a story that guy's had.
Yeah, he's brought that program back. St. John's, and now they're having success in the tournament, which is good for them.
So, Pitino is like a classic American story.
Yeah.
Right. So he plays at UMass, and then he goes on to have some success with Northeastern, I think, and then Boston University, and then Providence College takes him to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Makes goes to coach the Knicks. That doesn't work out so well.
No, but doesn't usually work for many people.
Yeah,
coaching the Knicks.
Then he gets a national championship at Kentucky.
Yep.
Spends a cup of coffee with the Celtics. That doesn't work out so well.
Right.
Then he goes to Louisville. Him and
the Pitino-Calipari rivalry was always fun.
Always fun. Still, and it might still exist.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got Calipari in the Sweet 16.
Yep. Who's he coach now?
Arkansas.
He's with Arkansas.
He's with Arkansas, and Arkansas is one of the 4 SEC teams that made it to the Sweet 16.
Okay.
They are playing. They're playing Arizona, which is a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be tough. But the saga of Rick Pitino is, so he's at Louisville. He won 2 national championships, but he got into some recruiting scandals.
Yep.
And a couple other personal scandals.
Some other things. Extracurricular
yes. On a table.
Yes. Yes.
You leave it like that.
Just like that.
Anyways.
You're not supposed to do that. Not supposed to do that.
It would be on the list of don't do's, right?
Do not do that, yes.
Anyways, so when he leaves Louisville, he's like persona non grata.
Right.
And he can't get a job in the States. He ends up coaching some obscure team in Greece for a year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
But then, things change. Maybe his departure from Louisville is not as disgraceful as some thought it was.
Right.
He gets a job in the New York City area,
right,
with the Iona Gales.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the dance.
The guy's a good coach.
He's a good
That's
coach.
the moral of this story.
Yeah.
Right? He's a good coach. And he's got... Who does St. John's play?
Well, here you go with the rest of the story. They're the 5th seed.
Right.
They play the 1st seed, Duke.
Oh, gee. Oh, that's going to be fun. Well, Duke had a rough first round against Siena.
The Siena Saints.
That was
a New York team.
they gave them a run.
71-65. They were down until the last
They were
few
down.
minutes.
They were down by double digits most of the second half. I watched that game.
They stomped TCU though.
Yeah, then they came back and
Duke is a 6.5 point favorite.
See, that's what you need sometimes as a 1 seed to be tested in that first round to kind of wake your guys up. And
they gotta wait.
And then they just rolled TCU.
The storyline to me would be fabulous.
Who's coaching Duke now? Is that John Shire?
I don't know.
I think he played for Coach K.
Yeah.
He was
it's a Coach K guy.
Yeah. He played for Coach K. He was like a 3-point ace.
Let me tell you what I'd love to see. I'd love to see Duke lose to St. John's.
That would be interesting.
I'd like to see St. John's in the national championship against John Calipari's Arkansas.
Yeah. Come on.
Isn't that the dream match?
I'll tell you what, if that happens, you're going to have a bunch of people running around going, it's all scripted. And I'd be like, maybe it is, because that would be wow. Right?
Patino
and Calipari back. Oh, I mean,
backfighting it out against
I can't wait to watch that 30 for 30, right? That ESPN.
That would be great.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I think Duke's going to beat him, but, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think Duke will win, too, but like you said, we'll see. This is why they play the game.
I got to tell you something. I don't watch the NBA.
I can't.
It's just like, it's
you know
boring.
What? If it's on, I might put it on as background noise. Yeah. I like the sport of basketball.
But that's not, it's
just, I don't know.
It's not really a team
Doesn't do it
sport.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my son-in-law is a big fan of the NBA.
I'll turn on any hockey game, by the way.
Yeah.
Like any hockey. It doesn't matter. I don't have to have a rooting interest. I'll put it on because I just love the sport.
Or even going in person. It's fabulous.
It's fun.
It's fast. It's exciting. It's constantly.
Yeah.
How's it going to work out? So, but the NCAA, and college basketball is fine. I watch it. I find it interesting the way they structure the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
Because you got the underdogs. I think there maybe has been once in history a 16 seed beat of 1 seed.
UMBC.
Yeah.
Beat Virginia.
There you go.
And there might have been one more.
Yeah. But it's fun to look at it.
Yeah.
Siena almost beat Duke.
Mm-hmm. It's close.
Very close.
It's close.
So we'll see. I mean, I do think that the ratings would be, if it would be Rick Pitino's St. John's Redmond, or Red Storm.
Red Storm.
Sorry, folks. Against the Arkansas, against John Calipari's Arkansas Razorbacks. Mm-hmm. That would be a great story.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, so the NFL.
Oh, jeez.
I know. So the part of the NFL that I watch is the quarterbacks. And I have sad news to report. The New England Patriots, who just were awful in the Super Bowl.
Horrible.
I mean, beyond awful. I mean, it was really bad. They cut their second-string quarterback, the UT Vol grad, Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs.
Mm-hmm.
They cut him.
Yeah.
And they're bringing up this Tommy DeVito, the former New York Giants.
The Giants, yeah.
And I think it was a money thing.
It's probably.
But, I root for Josh for any number of reasons. And I'd like to see him finally get a chance to be a starter, but I think he'll get a backup deal.
Probably backup. He'll be in the league, but he'll be a backup.
Yeah, backup.
Yeah.
Which leads us to your team.
Oh, jeez. A team full of backups.
So, what are they doing at quarterback? Can you tell me what they cut Justin Fields?
Mm-hmm. They traded him.
I
forget to Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, yeah, for like nothing.
Yes, for nothing. Well, the fact that they got something for him is great.
But don't they owe him like a ton of money?
Maybe. Yeah. Well, the thing is, they brought in Geno Smith, and the Raiders are paying most of that contract.
Well, okay.
So it's a wash, essentially.
But
yeah.
Don't you get the sense that the Jets, they just don't have a plan?
No, there's no. Look, the general manager Darren Moogie. He knows what this signals to me, Geno Smith in at quarterback, is that the number 2 pick is not going to be a quarterback, which is fine because you don't want to reach with the number 2 overall pick for a guy that's not worth that. So you bring in Geno, he's your stopgap, and you're probably going to tank again next year. You got a bunch of draft picks, first-round picks next year.
So is he playing for the year after, you think?
He's planning for the year after. And honestly, that's fine, because you don't want to take the number 2 overall pick and blow it on somebody. But my goodness, you had a chance to bring back a former Jets quarterback last year, and they didn't bring back Sam Darnold. They went with, not to say that Darnold would have done anything.
So
I don't know.
A lot of it has to do with
the system that you're in.
Yeah, you have a quarterback, right, and they're hyped, and they go into one system and they fail.
Yep.
And they go to another system and they do okay. But then they go to a different system, and for whatever reason, like with Sam Darnold.
He was a late bloomer. So he was okay with the Jets. He wasn't very good with Carolina when him and Baker Mayfield were on the same team.
Yeah.
And they were 1-2 in the same draft. And then he goes to San Francisco and he backs up Darnold. Does, and then winds up flourishing in Minnesota, but has a very Darnold year. He didn't come through in the big game, but he finds himself in a situation in Seattle in a great system, surrounded by great players, and he wins a Super Bowl. And I'm happy for the guy. He's always been a class act.
And he was great.
He was very good.
Yeah,
he was very good. So I'm happy for the guy.
But a little of this is like with the success of the quarterback.
Right.
It has to do with the system.
Yeah, well, it's a team sport.
And the talent.
Yeah.
Surrounding it.
100%.
Right.
He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba over there with the Seahawks. They had a very dominant running game.
The coach is pretty good.
Has been phenomenal. Their defense was good. I mean, it was a complete team. And they played like it in the Super Bowl when they beat the Pats. I mean, they played like a complete team. So.
Okay, I need you to put on your Nostradamus hat.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to ask you the question. I want to go to college football to ask you I'll close out this segment.
Huh.
So Bill Belichick.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Out of football for a year.
Right.
Doesn't sign with an NFL team. Nobody makes him an offer. Goes to North Carolina and lays an egg. 4-8.
Yep.
What's this year going to be like?
Slight improvement. And then I think he's going to have to hang it up.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
yeah,
have fun with whatever that
the 27-year-old, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think that it's interesting because the guy's been obsessed with football.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a great coach for the Patriots. Didn't do well really when Brady left.
No.
And the following year they weren't good, but now under Vrabel they were great until the Super Bowl,
right?
When they were awful.
They had a soft regular season schedule. That's part of it.
Yeah,
but they got there. They got through the playoffs. So
I would be surprised. I've always liked Belichick, but he seems to have, in his old age,
lost a step
and not.
Well, he gained something with this 27-year-old, though. I'll tell you what.
Had a judgment issue. If he's 6-6, they'll fire him.
Probably.
I don't see him getting over 7-5.
Mm-mm.
And really, Bill, it would be time to hang it up.
Hang it up.
All right. Sean Farash, guess what? When we come back, News Potpourri.
Oh, yeah.
Supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Solti, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Solti has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Solti for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Solti and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Solti, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Solti
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the very best Trump impersonator in the wide world. The one, the only Sean Farash is with us. Sean, it's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and may have, just may have, a touch of
irony.
Well, here is beyond irony for you. Do you remember the former CIA head, John Brennan?
Yes, unfortunately.
He told us who he believes and who he doesn't believe. Well, but we got a clip. We'll play this for you right now.
Iran, like, they are an authoritarian regime who's known to lie, but, like, I'm confused. What is going on? Help me. Calm me down.
Well, I tend to believe Iran more than I do Donald Trump.
Crazy.
Whoa. Sean, what's wrong with all these Democrats who are basically aligning with the evil regime that runs Iran? You know, the one that killed 40,000 people for protesting in January, the one that publicly hung a 19-year-old wrestling champion?
Yeah.
For opposition to the regime?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with that?
Well, these Democrats suffer from Trump derangement syndrome.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
This is why in August, when I made my bit of Trump-endorsed breathing, it went viral because it's ironically funny that if Trump said, we love to breathe, you should breathe too, they would all hold their breath.
They would.
That's why when Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy came out and said, don't take Tylenol if you're pregnant, pregnant women went on TikTok and took a lot of Tylenol. They will do the opposite of what he says to do. That's why I made a secondary bit after the Trump breathing endorsement, and it was don't shower with your toaster because it sounds ridiculous. Yeah, I'm thinking of another one. Don't put plastic bags over your head. You're not supposed to do that. Because what they'll do is, Donald Trump told me not to do this, and they'll just, because that's what's wrong with them. Yeah. Trump says go up, they go down. Trump says go down, go up. It's like, use it to our advantage here. Next time they start eating Tide Pods, leave them alone.
Let me pose a question to you.
Let them eat the Tide Pods.
Because you are now a homeowner, a landowner in Tennessee.
Yes.
If somebody came to you and said, Sean, we like that land that you have right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to build a data center there. And we'll offer you $26 million for your land. Would you take the money?
I'm gonna have to say no. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no. I don't want a data center. I want my land.
Well,
I'll make my $26 million a different way.
That's not a hypothetical.
Yeah.
There's a family in Kentucky. They own a farm.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in the family for generations. Apparently, an AI company wants to build a data center there. They've offered them $26 million.
They tell them to shove it?
They did.
Good. Good, because you need the land is more important than the money. You can make your money a different way. The land is more important. The land is going to be more valuable. You know, you can't grow your food, your livestock with $26 million. You could buy another plot of land and start over.
Yeah.
But who wants to do that?
I'd take the $26 million.
I mean, $26 million's a lot, but I'm not giving up my land and everything we built on the land for $26 million. It's not happening.
Good point. Well,
I don't even think there's a dollar amount that I would put on it.
A couple of other stories. SpaceX apparently may file for an IPO this week.
Oh yeah, I heard that there was those rumors. That's nice. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
That's going to be I think a solid long-term investment for anybody.
I would say probably.
I would say so.
Okay.
Elon's companies generally don't fail.
I can't think of anyone.
And
that
I know
failed.
past performance doesn't, what do they say? Past performance doesn't guarantee future results.
Yeah.
But with Elon, he doesn't fail often.
Did well with PayPal.
Say what you want about him. I don't necessarily trust him or think he's the best guy, but he doesn't fail. So you're investing in the potential success of his business if you buy. And I think it's a solid move.
This is kind of a sports-related story. Apparently, the NBA is thinking of expanding to Las Vegas. Now, we have an NFL team in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Major League Baseball team about to be in Las Vegas.
The formerly Oakland A's. Yep,
well, let's go through the formerly.
Yeah.
The formerly Philadelphia Athletics.
Philadelphia, Oakland.
Kansas City Athletics.
Yes.
And former Oakland Athletics.
And Sacramento now.
They're called simply the Athletics. They're playing in like a 20,000 seat
and they
arena.
still can't fill it.
Yeah, but they're
the A's.
They're the A's.
Yeah.
They will probably fill it in Las Vegas.
Probably, yeah.
It's interesting because for a long time there was a ban on any, and you've got the Vegas
Golden Knights, the hockey team. Yeah, they're going to have all four major sports now.
All four major sports, and this has all happened in the past decade.
Yeah, because they've legalized sports betting and all this stuff. It's kind of weird. I mean, not weird. I'm not saying that sports are rigged, but there have been those criminal cases, right?
Well, the NBA has a problem.
The NBA and baseball.
That's right.
Emmanuel Clase with the with the Indians.
Right.
Well, the Guardians. They're in the Indians.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look. Sports betting is legal right now.
It's legal.
It has had the kind of impact that the opponents suggested.
The detractors. And the whole idea is the contracts were supposed to make these players incorruptible. But it's not the money. Craig Carton on WFAN, who went to jail because of a gambling
What was his
Ponzi scheme. It was Craig
was
Carton.
his name? Craig Carton?
Craig
Was that the
Carton.
guy? Yeah.
He was Boomerang Carton. He was the morning host. He was running a Ponzi scheme, fake tickets, this whole line. Went to jail because he had a gambling addiction. He'll tell you, it wasn't the money. He was making money hand over fist with WFAN. He had the number one rated sports morning show in the country.
How long
he
did
was
he
just a couple years. But he was just he just was addicted to the thrill of the gambling, not the money. And that's the problem with these players. The contracts are what they are, but if there's that, that feeling of, ooh, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do and I'm getting away with it.
So there's been reports that Michael Jordan is a big gambler.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley, big gambler.
And Michael Jordan's gambling. If he's gambling, he better be gambling on his own NASCAR driver who's won 4 out of the first 6 races. Tyler Reddick.
On that.
Gosh.
Sean Farash, the best Trump impersonator in the world. Tonight, Joe Pags.
6 to 9. That's correct.
6 to 9.
That's right.
Watch and listen.
Yes.
To Sean Farash.
It's going to be fun.
All right, Sean, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Up next, Rob Carson. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. I hope you have a great day. The website, TennesseeStar.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.